At the Harvey studio in Madison, where the talking cheeseheads, cheeseheadtalk.com. Ben and Reed. Interesting article last week. Reed spent the week in Charleston, South Carolina.
I was on vacation.
He was like rubbing Union victory into the Confederates' heads.
I did.
First shots of the Civil War. Who won that one? Bitches.
I'll tell you about the interesting carriage ride I went on and what our tour guide was alleging.
That's coming up in a future segment.
Yeah.
Alleging. I'm interested.
It was good.
The article came out of Peter King of Sports Illustrated. Peter King said the Packers are his choice to win the Super Bowl.
To win the Super Bowl.
To be the number one team to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, my gosh. All because of Brian Bulaga?
Yeah, he said this, and then he also said, of course, that last year he picked the Bears, and he picked the Saints 24th. So the proverbial grain of salt must be taken with his choices. But we're going to see this. A lot of people, the Packers were a hot pick last year to be the sleeper team.
They were sassy.
Sassy?
Sassy. Sexy. Sassy. However you want to say it.
I think there's an X in there you're missing. They were the sleeper team.
Yeah.
This year they might be more of a favorite. I asked the question, though, really? That's my question.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
I'm excited about the Packers. Don't get me wrong. I want to see what they can do. I think, of course, if number 4 comes back, and he will because he had surgery.
To the Packers?
No.
Oh.
To the Vikings.
Thank God. I don't want him around that Aaron Rodgers. I know I'm corrupting him.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what Aaron Rodgers is? 3 times better. Just look at the jersey.
3 times.
Just look at the jersey.
Do some math and look at the jersey, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't see it yet. And I know the NFL is not where it used to be, where you have to be dominant to be considered the Super Bowl contending team. But I just don't see it, Reed. I'm still there. You're gonna roll your eyes. You're gonna yell at me. You're gonna say, Ben. Pass rush, not there. Killer defense, can't beat a good quarterback. Not happening.
They can outscore nearly anybody.
Wins championships. Never.
They didn't win a championship for the Saints last year?
They still had at least a defense that could get a pass rush.
They had a defense that had balls and hit Favre after he got rid of the ball, which I liked.
Yeah, I know.
All right,
did.
Keep hitting him. I say hit the son of a every single play and keep racking up the penalties.
Yeah, I know you do.
I love that.
Yes.
But you can outscore teams and win the Super Bowl. It's happened. The Colts did it once.
They still had at least something defensively. What did they have? Freeney. They had a pass rush.
Ben, we've had this conversation on the pass rush before, and I do think, like we saw last year in the opening game against the Bears and in the game against the Cowboys and against some of the lesser teams in the NFL, such as the Lions and the Browns, that now that we're in year 2 of the Dom Capers experience, okay, you're going to see a much more multifaceted and from all angles effective pass rush scenario. Okay, yeah, Clay Matthews is your guy. He's your guy to rush the passer. But Colin Jenkins can still get after the quarterback.
He's not supposed to, though.
B.J. Raji's going to move inside on third downs and provide an interior pass rush.
Collapse the pocket.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. And he's going to start sending Charles. You know, they got really screwed last year when they had to free up, or they had to move Woodson into more of a conservative cornerback role because of all the injuries. Now, if you can unleash Charles Woodson from game 1 and continue that pressure throughout the season, you're going to be fine. This team's going to be good next year. Super Bowl favorite, good. I'm with Peter King.
I agree they're going to be good.
He's a smart man, and he drinks a lot of coffee and Diet Pepsi, apparently.
I agree they're going to be good. I just think that getting over the hump to the...
They've gotten over the... That's the thing. Really? I mean, hear me out, okay? We all let that 6-10 season kind of muddle our opinion of the Packers, but realize that over the past 3 years, they've made the playoffs twice. One of those years, they made the NFC Championship game with a lot of the players that are on this team currently. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, a lot of the young guys. Gray Jennings, Ryan Grant, all those characters. Nick Collins was on that team, right? So they're all back. They're still in the fold here. So you've made the playoffs 2 of the last 3 years. You made the NFC Championship game and really should have made at least a divisional round last year. This team is on an upward trajectory, Ben, and I think it keeps going this year.
I think I agree with you that they're on an upward trajectory. I like where they're headed. I like some of the moves they made. I like the fact that they've got your tackles back. You can start from the beginning with a young tackle who apparently looks good in minicamp.
Yeah, I love
minicamp.
Love minicamp.
Who's going to be sort of up and coming. You've got a tight end who could be a superstar in the league. I mean, all that's great. I can't wait to watch the offense. I can't wait to watch the defense against mediocre to bad teams. I'm nervous about watching the defense against good teams. That's the question in my mind. That and some special teams issues.
Don't you think though?
The Australian punter, go Australia. Field position.
Did you expect the Packers defense to rank? I know rankings are suspect, but did you expect them to rank as high as they did last year when Dom Capers was hired?
No, nobody did because they
Right.
they're turning over the defense. They're
Right.
3-4.
So could we say, Ben, in some small part, that the defense maybe overachieved last year, and then it got people excited when you saw them dominate Detroit, and then get thrashed by Pittsburgh and Arizona? Do you think they're going to have those meltdowns again this year? I don't.
I think it's possible only because we know that one of the criticisms of Dom, who named him Dom Capers because it should be Don, how many times in his life has he had to say, M as in mother, you jackass, not N as in Don. I'm Dom. I'm different. How many times has he been criticized for not being able to beat or be effective against really good teams, really good offenses? The answer is his whole career.
Well,
right?
I don't know if it's his whole
He's
career.
not Dick LeBeau.
He isn't Dick LeBeau. Although the Packers showed Dick LeBeau who was boss in that game, didn't they?
They have. I mean, every defensive coordinator gets humbled from now
Right.
time to time. But Dom Capers hasn't ever really had that signature, like, I'm going to dominate this guy or this team or this offense. That's been his criticism, that he gets beat against good offenses, and he's still the coordinator. It just makes me nervous.
Well,
that's all.
That's
I
the way
wouldn't
the
put
NFL works these. I mean, a good offense beats a good defense
that
because
is
the
true,
rules
too.
are set up in favor of the offense.
And that bodes well for the Packers. I agree
Right.
with you. I'm just saying you still need something. And look, if they find a way to collapse the pocket and get a pass rush, and Brad Jones takes another step, and okay, then my fears will be calmed a little bit, and the secondary can stay healthy, so Woodson can
Right.
be free to do some things. I can see the road there. I'm just not buying it yet
Okay.
because I really wish they had done something, draft or otherwise. Ted Thompson.
Yeah.
We still have to bring in a pass.
There's still a lot of street free agents out there that can rush the passer. A lot. And Ted Thompson will bring them in.
Yeah, in middle school they were great. They could just dominate. But I like the pub. I think it's kind of interesting that Peter King would say this. I do think if Favre comes back, and that's 96% yes, that the Vikings are still the favorite over the Packers.
No.
Hey,
This is
I
the
can't
year-
wait to see the matchup.
This is the year
I know.
Favre
But
throws it all away.
Let me remind you, the first time the Packers played the Vikings this past year, you and I were talking on the phone, and I was going, this doesn't look good. And you said, I got a feeling tonight's going to be a good night, Ben. Tonight's going to be a good night.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. So your feelings, they're a little distorted when it comes to number 4. I hate to say it because I can't stand the guy either now.
He's a jackass. He did have surgery, though.
He did, which of course means he's coming back.
Yeah. But he can't say that.
Where the talking cheeseheads. He can't say it till probably. I wouldn't be surprised if the guy came back in October.
Yeah.
Because the first 4 weeks of the season are
Does
dumb.
that hurt his starting record? His consecutive game started record?
It would.
Okay.
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
Well, then he better come back.
Yeah, he'll come back.
Oh,
He'll
because
come back
he doesn't
for
play for the records. My ass.
sure. We're talking cheeseheads. He's Reed. I'm Ben. Cheeseheadtalk.com.